Have like an actual mouse, so I pressed like the laptop part like below the left click.
You're like,
wow,
that really did it for me.
Yeah, nothing's happening. Oh, because I didn't actually press the left click. Anyway, how are you?
I am good. It is Sunday. It's also raining.
Yeah, it's raining here too.
Yeah, so it's raining. It's very chill, relaxing the rest of the night. We're probably just gonna watch movies and chill. I tried to ride my longboard, but it started raining. I'm not kidding you, a minute into us being outside.
Wow.
We walked down the driveway into the street, and I stepped on my longboard, and it started raining. And it just came in the mail yesterday, and it started raining, and I was like, okay.
Dang it.
And you can't get them wet because it messes up the bearings.
Right.
But
oh, how disappointing.
It feels really good. And I'm excited to write it. I put a bunch of stickers on it yesterday, so that's exciting. But how's your day?
I'm very tired. I'm always tired.
I took 2 naps so far today, and I woke up at a normal time, but I took like 2-hour naps, and I was like, this is amazing. I love this.
So we went to that wedding yesterday, which was a good time. I'll get to that in a minute. But the night before, I took a muscle relaxer because my jaw, so I have TMJ, as you well know, and my jaw just felt so tense. No matter how slack-jawed I felt like I was doing, like it still felt so tense and so not painful, but it was like hard to fall asleep because I was just like not comfortable, if that makes any sense. So I took a muscle relaxer kind of to help the muscles around my jaw kind of loosen up a little bit, and I woke up the next morning to let the dogs out earlier than I wanted to, and I was tired all day yesterday, and then I was tired last night. I knocked out after I had way too much wine at this wedding.
Oh my god, I drank I will say I drank a lot last night, and then I just got so I remember waking up in the middle of the night and being like, wow, I'm still tipsy, and then I went back to sleep.
I didn't get to the point where I was tipsy because I was drinking it really slowly, like in between eating and talking and hanging out.
Well, I think I mixed too many different alcohols was the problem.
That'll do it.
That, and also I was already having a pretty bad flare-up. I was drinking to make it better, but the drinking made it worse.
Ah, jeez. As these things tend to go.
Was the alcohol free though?
Yes. It was an open bar.
That's hard. That's hard. You're like, how do I control myself? I can't.
Yeah, no. Kay had 2 or 3 rum and cokes, and then she had a Jack and Coke. I just had wine all night because I just like wine, as you know.
Yeah.
They told Kay when she went up to go get me like my 4th glass of wine, LOL, that was the end of the bottle. And I may or may not have been the only one drinking wine.
You probably were. I mean, like, it's they know. Like, I remember when I got married and they were like, do you want an open bar? And I was like, absolutely not. Because I knew that would happen. And I was just thinking about all the family members that would have been like blitzed. Like, absolutely destroyed.
You remember that? I went to a wedding last year-ish in November that ended badly.
I fucking remember that. It was really bad. Like, that is the every person's nightmare is what that wedding was. It was so bad.
Yeah. So I'm not going to get into any specifics, but it was an open bar, and there was some absolute violence going on. It was horrific. Anyway, so that wedding was the moment for me where I was like, I am not having an open bar. Y'all are not going to get trashy shit faced on my dime.
And that's the thing is, like, the last wedding that I had went to before my own, the exact same thing. The bride and the groom got so drunk that they don't remember their wedding. And then not only that, but they were gone halfway between, like, before the wedding had actually, like, the ceremony and everything was fine. It was like 10 minutes into the reception after they were introduced and then took pictures and stuff. They were gone. And it was because they both were so drunk that they were throwing up so much that they couldn't do anything else. I'm like, that doesn't make it fun. That's I mean, do what you want, but if you're spending, like, I think that wedding was like $30,000. If you're spending that much money, I want to remember it. I want to remember that.
Oh, that's a hell of a lot of money. Yeah, I was not in the interest of having an open bar. And that also, what happened at that wedding was the reason why I don't like to say assigned seating because ultimately you're not
It
glued
is
to the chair, but
it
it was
is assigned.
suggested seating.
Yeah.
I had suggested seating because part of the problem was because that wedding that I went to did not have assigned seating and it created a problem.
Oh, that's
So
really
that was,
weird. I feel
yeah,
like that's the standard for most weddings is that there is
yeah.
assigned slash suggested seating because
Yeah.
of, like obviously you're going to group people that know each other together.
Yeah. So that's what happened. And then, but this wedding it was a similar atmosphere. It was in a barn. It was very rustic. But it was beautiful. There were no problems. It was just a very lovely wedding. So
I'm so
congratulations
glad.
to Kaylee and Seth. I don't know that they hear or listen to this podcast, but if
Probably
they
not, but
do,
that's super sweet. And congrats
yeah,
to them too, even though I don't
yeah,
know them.
yeah. Well, that was kind of my high, I guess, is that I went to the wedding and it
Okay,
was a
so
good time.
unfortunately, what's your low?
Yeah, I
It's
have a low.
not
I
something
don't
that you really want to get into yet.
Yeah, there is a low that I and my family are working through. There will be a time in the future when I will be able to talk more about it, but right now I am
It's not the time.
yeah, we're just going to leave it at that.
Okay. And
So,
it'll be okay one way or another, and you have support.
yeah. So, tell me about your highs and lows.
My high is my new longboard I bought, and
Oh.
also I bought a steam mop because I'm an old wine mom
Oh,
for some reason.
I no, you don't
Oh,
understand. My
that
steam
steam
mop
mop,
is
I
my
literally,
favorite.
oh, that's how I listen. Like, there was one year where I asked my ex husband to buy me a wet jet Swiffer. And he was like, I mean, I can get that for you, but that's not going to be your birthday present. I was like, that's all I want. He was like, Janelle, that doesn't have to be your present. I'm like, that's all I want. He's like, that's not a present. I'm like, it is to me.
Yeah. My steam mop is my favorite cleaning appliance. I love it so much. So I'm glad
I'm
that you
like
got one too.
horrified at how disgusting my floors were. Like, I knew they were gross
Yeah.
because we just moved into this house and they
Mhm.
did renovations. And I'm assuming they didn't clean a lot of the stuff. And we cleaned the house, obviously, when we moved in. But
Mhm.
there's like laminate or vinyl flooring, I don't remember, that they put in all the rooms, all the bedrooms, and it's like all over the stairs and it's all over in the upstairs loft. And
Mhm.
there's like a residue on it from I'm assuming them installing it.
Yeah. Probably.
Uh and ugh, so nasty. It was
Yeah,
so
I bet.
nasty.
Yeah.
I have to do the upstairs still, but I did the downstairs and I did like the kitchen, the dining room, the downstairs living room, and our bedroom and bathroom and stuff. And even that, I was like, this is disgusting. I can't
Did you
believe.
get one of those steam mops where the little like pad thing comes with a pocket for a scent disc?
No,
Oh, so my steam pop, got it.
my steam
My
papa.
My steam mop, the little pad things come with like it's just like a little mesh pocket on the inside, like that
And you can put
actually,
something in it.
and you put like a little. It's called a scent disc,
Huh.
and it's so small. It's maybe the size of a $50, but it makes everything smell so
That's
nice.
really cool. No,
So you should
mine was
see if
on the
yours.
cheaper end, but it's not like it was like $40.
Yeah, well, you should see if I don't know what brand yours is. We're
It's a
not
shark.
okay. See if maybe they have mine's Abyssal. That's probably why. But see if like maybe they have maybe a different brand that will still fit yours
Yeah, and
with
just like
with the
put it
little
in.
scent disc. Because I've got like a shit ton. I'll give you
Well,
because I
mine
got.
doesn't have like you know how your steam mop has like the entire pocket that has like the elastic thing?
Mm-hmm,
Mine's
mm-hmm.
not like that. It's just a pad.
Oh,
But
okay.
my steam the water tank, you can put cleaner in that. And
Oh, well, maybe
it
you
has
can
like a
get scented
scent. My
cleaner.
same well, the cleaner I got is Spring Clean, which just basically smells like laundry detergent, like
Yeah,
linen laundry detergent. You know the one
yeah,
where they're like
yeah,
very gentle scented.
yeah.
I don't think I put enough in to make it sound.
Mm,
It says you don't need a cleaner, but I put it in because I like the smell.
yeah.
But
Oh yeah, because the steam mop, the steam is really what with the heat is really
yeah,
what does the
exactly.
cleaning. But yeah, okay, cool.
But it's a really stupid high, but I love
No,
the
it's not
longboard. I'm really
because it's
excited
awesome.
about because I get to now ride around with Eric and exercise and stuff. And the steam mop, I'm like, well, my floors are disgusting, and I don't want to have to keep wearing shoes or socks in the house because my feet get gross. So
Yeah, yeah. That was we hadn't mopped in a hot minute, so I get it. I mopped right before we left for the wedding yesterday because my brother was going to stay the night, and I had to mop beforehand because it was just like you could see like little puppy paw prints all over the
That's the
house.
thing is you can see in the high traffic area, you could see like Zero's footprints or like water
Hmm.
splashes that
Yeah,
have
yeah,
dried because of
yeah.
Zero drinks like he has a hole in his jaw. So
Freya does too.
it's the fucking worst. It is the
I
absolute.
get
And
it.
he also eats and like when he picks up food in his mouth, he just like opens his mouth and it all falls out and then he eats the pieces one by one off of the floor. Like you
uh,
could have just done that over the bowl.
it's how they used to do that.
It's
Yeah,
so gross.
I
Like
know it. I know it.
but I don't really have a low, I would say.
Good.
I'm not really obviously I don't feel well, but that's how chronic illness be
Yeah,
sometime. But
yeah.
other than that, there's really nothing too crazy going on in my life. Everything's been pretty good. So,
Good.
but
Well, I'm glad.
you have a story for me.
I do. I actually, so last week you hit us with some real deep heavy. So this week, in honor of Halloween coming up and stuff like that, I'm actually going to talk about some Halloween traditions and Halloween like esque traditions from around the world.
Oh, that's
Because
awesome.
yeah, because I thought that that would be really interesting.
It
So
is.
I'm not, I mean, there's a lot of them, so I'm gonna try to go through it as quickly as I can without rushing. But for most of these, I just did like a really abridged history. And like the first one I talked about is Samhain, which is essentially what most people consider like the birthplace of Halloween.
Okay.
And I know that, like, and that's why we drink, and Ladies of Strange and Morbid have all done like really, really in depth, like, history of Samhain and Halloween episodes. You're not going to find super in depth with me because I'm going through, like,
A billion.
yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch.
I like that though better only because I like seeing how other cultures and other countries celebrate
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah, so the first one I'm going to talk about is Samhain because that's, like I said a minute ago, essentially the birth of modern Halloween. And it originates from Ireland and Scotland. And back in the day, it was a festival that was celebrated to like celebrate the end of the light half of the year, which is when the days were the longest. And they ushered in the dark half of the year, got it, of the year, i.e., uh, the dark half of the year. Mm-hmm. So like behind or inside.
Yep. Okay. Got it.
When the days are the shortest. So during this time, the ancient Celtic people would dress in costumes and light bonfires to ward off evil spirits and ghosts. And this is because November 1st was the new year of the Celtic calendar, and they believed that the night before the new year was when the veil between the world of the living and the world of the dead was at its thinnest. So during the celebration, the Druids would light a sacred fire from burnt crops and animal sacrifices to Celtic deities, where they would tell fortunes for the coming year.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So at the beginning of the night, everyone would extinguish their hearth fires for the celebration, and at the end of the night, after all of the ceremonies and rituals have been taken place, they would relight their hearth fires from that sacred bonfires that the druids would light
Oh,
in
okay.
order to help protect them from the coming winter.
Okay.
So today, people in Ireland and Scotland celebrate Samhain with bonfires, festivals, traditional foods, and of course, like here they do in the States, they dress up in costumes and go to parties and go trick or treating. So there are some events that are hosted over there for Halloween. Some of the biggest ones are the Banks of Foyle Halloween Carnival in Derry, North Ireland. There's a huge parade that's held in Dublin that spans most of the city. Malahide Castle in Dublin, which is said to be haunted by 5 different entities, does ghost tours, peppered with fascinating history that comes with the 800-year-old building. And the last, and I think it was the most popular based on my research, was the Bunratty Castle in Folk Park hosts a very popular festival with fun and fancy dress, face painting, magic shows, Halloween games. And that event specifically is always catered like this is a family friendly event. You can bring your kids, anybody of kids of all ages essentially can go.
Okay.
So that is the history-ish, very abridged history of Samhain and Halloween today. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Dia de los Muertos, which
Yes.
is another super popular one. This list starts really popular and then it gets into less known, but
Okay.
still just as fascinating.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Dia de los Muertos originates from Mexico, as we know, but its history actually stretches as far back as the ancient Aztec people, which I did not know. Even though the Aztec people would celebrate a version of Dia de los Muertos, today that celebration is kind of mixed with the Catholic customs and beliefs that were brought by Spanish conquistadors.
Mm-hmm.
So, what they celebrate today is not exactly what the Aztecs celebrated, but the traditions all kind of blend together into what we know of today. So, the Aztec people recognized death as a natural part of the human experience and believed that their dead would be offended by sadness and mourning. So, the celebration of Dia de los Muertos was when the dead would come back to join the living and be a part of their community and share in celebrations that were being held in their honor. Again, because the dead would be offended if you were sad about them dying. This
Yeah.
is just part of life.
They're like,
Do
just
not
move
mourn
on.
for me.
We're
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So this holiday actually is 2 days. It's November 1st and November 2nd. The evening of October 31st is thought to be, again, when
When the veil
yeah,
is the
that's what,
thinnest.
yes, what you said. The evening of October 31st is thought to be when the veil is the thinnest and the gates of heaven are opened up. On the first night, so November 1st, is when the spirits of children get to rejoin their families. And then on November 2nd is when the spirits of adults get to come and rejoin their families.
Very interesting. Okay.
Um,
So it's two
I,
different days for.
yes, but the children stay for 2 days versus the adults.
Oh, yeah, they probably need it more, right? You would
Yeah,
think.
that's what I would think. At this point, I want to stress that, like, this is not like a Mexican Halloween. That's, at least for me. I'm not Mexican, but to me, if somebody said, like, oh, that's like a Cuban Halloween, that's a little offensive. Like,
You're like, no.
Halloween is separate, and even though it's celebrated at the same time and there are like overlapping traditions,
It's not the
this
same
is
thing.
a little bit more reverent. I think. I think it's more important. I think Dia de los Muertos to the Mexican people
Yeah.
is more important than Halloween is to like those of us.
To Americans, because
Yeah,
like Halloween for us is like a thing that's like, oh, we're just partying and it's something funny and we get to
yeah,
dress up. But for them, like, it's a very serious thing.
yeah, yeah. And they have fun, of course, and they
They do,
celebrate,
but
but
it's not the
it's
same type of
yeah, this
fun.
is not like Mexican Halloween, and that's kind of offensive. So let's not do that.
Yeah, people,
Um,
do your research. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, essentially. So the celebration was most commonly practiced in rural towns and villages in Mexico, and only in like the 1980s did it start getting like really popular in bigger cities. So today, Dia de
Oh
los
my god, I
Muertos.
have to stop you for a second.
Why?
So this is gonna be so weird, but either keep this in or put it in bloopers, but it has to
Uh-huh.
be said. So I'm sitting at my computer, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Eric's computer is on the left of me,
Uh-huh.
and shit was moving around on his computer like if he was playing it. And I was like, who the fuck is playing his computer, right? So I'm like looking at it and I'm like I'll take a video of it for you, but
Yeah.
literally it's like someone's playing he's playing it's Destiny. It's Destiny
Oh
2. And I
no.
was like, who the fuck is playing his computer? And then I realized he has Steam Link. He's playing in the living room. You
Oh.
know how terrifying that was? I was like, there's a ghost in here and it's playing. Wait.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I
Anyways,
bet that's
I'm really
spooky.
sorry to interrupt, but that was
No, that's
really
okay.
creepy.
I'm leaving that in. That's too funny.
I'm sending you the video right now. Like,
I can't wait
please
to see it.
watch that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I can get how that would be spooky.
I was like, at first I saw it like in my peripheral a little bit, and I was just like, it looked like kind of like if something was just. At first, it was very gentle, and then I was
Yeah,
like, oh my god, that's a person and it's moving around. How the fuck is it doing that?
that's
I thought
way
he
too
was gonna
funny.
play in here. I didn't realize he was gonna play in the living room. That's funny as fuck, though.
That's way too funny.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm not bothered. So today, the holiday is celebrated by grand feasts, festivals hosted by the living for the dead, and in turn, the dead will walk among their family members to dance, sing, and play for a short while. It is not uncommon to find offerings of food and drink on the grave sites of their loved ones, as well as the ofrendas at home. Families of deceased children, this is so sad, they will even leave toys and trinkets on their grave
Oh,
sites and ofrendas for the young ones to play with while they're visiting, which, like, I can't
that's so
imagine
sweet,
the idea of
but
like
it's so
losing a
sad.
child. Yeah. People today also don the iconic skull masks painted with vibrant colors and eat candy skulls as part of the celebration. And even pop culture has helped contribute to this tradition. So back in 2015, the James Bond movie called Spectre featured a large Day of the Dead parade, which wasn't a thing until the next year in 2016. Mexico City held its very first Day of the Dead parade, and they continue to hold one annually, except for maybe this year because of COVID. I don't know.
Never know.
And then in 2017, the American cities of LA, Chicago, San Antonio, and Fort Lauderdale all started holding their own Day of the Dead parades. So that's really cool.
That is really cool.
I think
Trying
those
to
are
bring
like
it.
Mexican populous heavy cities too. So that makes
They
sense.
are, yeah.
So that's Dia de los Muertos. The next one I have is Day of Dracula.
Oh.
And that day is actually the 26th of May, like every year. However, because that's like when the Dracula movie first came out.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the Dracula book first came out
Mhm.
back in 1897. But now they also have a big celebration around Halloween. So I'll get into a tiny bit of history. So even predating the story of Dracula, Romanians have always been a little bit superstitious and had a deep fear of evil spirits and ghosts rising from the dead to haunt the living, which is, please refer back to our very first episode about the Hoya Baciu forest.
Yeah.
Stories of Dracula or blood-sucking vampire in general didn't exist in Romania before Bram Stoker's novel in 1897. However, the inspiration of Dracula dates back to a prince of Wallachia, Vlad the Impaler Tepes III, who lived and ruled in the area. No, he is the third. And he lived and ruled in the area now known as Romania back in the 1400s. He was known as a hero to his people, but a savage, bloodthirsty tyrant to his enemies and wrongdoers, hence the name the Impaler. So the castle thought to have inspired Dracula's castle is Bran's castle, but Vlad the Impaler never actually owned or lived in that castle, despite like certain people saying that he did. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. It's thought that if Vlad the Impaler did stay in that castle, it was because he was a prisoner back in the early 1460s. So today, people flock to Romania to spend Halloween at Bran Castle. The castle hosts Halloween parties, and travel agencies offer exclusive parties and ghost tours if you book a
You know how
vacation.
fucking fun that would be?
I think it would be fucking awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Also, I'm pretty sure. So, Vlad the Impaler. Have you ever
Mhm.
seen What We Do in the Shadows, the show?
I have not.
Vlad the Impaler is in the show.
Oh, cool.
It's very interesting. The show is hilarious, by the way. If you've seen What We Do in the Shadows, the movie, it's a very goofy movie with like Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords and a bunch of other people. Well, they
Okay.
created a show, and the show has Vlad the Impaler and a couple other people in it.
I have to
Very
check it out.
interesting. It's on Hulu.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. So, like I said, the castle hosts parties and travel agencies offer exclusive parties and ghost tours if you book a vacation to Romania through them. And I think the coolest fun fact is that to this day, nobody knows where Vlad Tepes III is actually buried. So the legend is that he's actually immortal because he wasn't buried anywhere.
He's not
And that
buried.
yeah.
He's living among us.
Yeah, exactly. So that just kind of adds to the immortal vampire kind of legend. So the next one I'm going to talk about is the Kawasaki Halloween Parade in Japan. And
Ooh.
it's the largest Halloween parade in the country and probably also the world.
Ooh, that sounds really fun. I think I would really enjoy that.
It's hosted for several days at the end of October. So it's not just one parade. It's like there's several days
Oh,
worth
that's
of
even better.
parading, which is super fun. However, for a celebration that's as widely integrated into Japanese culture as this parade is, how long do you think this parade is running?
Like, do you mean like every like yearly? What do you
Yeah.
like? Oh,
No, but I mean like
50 years?
only 24 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
That's a newer thing.
yeah, which I thought was really interesting because it's like a really big part of
Their
Halloween
culture now.
culture in Japan. So
I
yeah.
will say a lot of influence I think is from TV and shows and movies for them. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that they saw Halloween and it brought it over to their country, and then they're like, you know what? That's pretty cool.
And man, they go hard. They go
And
when you
yeah,
go,
and
they
that's the
go
thing is
hard.
like they also do things better than we do. So you know,
Sometimes anyway. So this event attracts costumers and cosplayers from literally all over the world to march in the parade, and there's like a contest that's held for like, best dressed or best this or best that. Usually prizes are like money or a trip or something like that. So there are strict rules and guidelines for anyone who wants to enter the parade. So sign up is usually 100 yen, which is only 10
I
USD.
say that's not a lot.
Yeah, and it begins 2 months before the event. But if you just want to spectate, though, that's free. So that's awesome.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Historically, there have been 2 days of parades for children costumes, because of course you can't just be out all day with a child, and a day of parading for adults. This year,
Yes.
the theme for the event is cyberspace costumes, and it's actually being held digitally.
Okay, so it's all which
Yeah,
fair because COVID.
right,
That's a
right.
very cool thing that they're doing.
Yeah, so I'm going to read to you directly from their website, real quick. Quote: Participants from around the world are welcome to make a video, 30 seconds or less, either by themselves or in a group, dressed up in any costume. Then post the video on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, with the hashtags hashtag One World Halloween and hashtag Kawahalo2020. On the official site, participants must also complete an entry form and upload the video. To be entered in the contest, videos must be submitted from Thursday, October 1st to Saturday, October 25th until 11:39 p.m. Japan Standard Time, which for us here on the Pacific is 10:59 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So,
I just looked up the hashtags.
yeah, I
Very
haven't I,
interesting. Here, I'm
I
gonna
haven't
send it
really
to you.
looked it up yet, but I will. I'm probably going to post some pictures on our website at ghoulgaminggals.com.
Not
Super
a lot
cool.
of tags, but it is super cool.
I'm sure the closer you get, the more.
The more it'll be.
Yeah. So that's it that I have for that specific one. We're going to move now to the Philippines.
Okay.
So this tradition is called, and I apologize for any Filipino people who are listening. I did try to look up pronunciations for things that I'm not familiar with, so I'm doing my best. This is called Pangangagalulua. And that term, which I'm not going to try to pronounce again, roughly translates to souls or souling, and some sources say that it translates to Halloween, but I couldn't find whether or not that was actually true. So if anybody speaks Tagalog, let me know.
Yes.
um, anyway, this is a bit different from Halloween, although again, there are a couple overlapping factors. This tradition is actually much more sacred to the Filipino people. It's an event that's held over the course of 3 days, the 31st of October and then November 1st and 2nd, in which children and teenagers dress up as the dead and go door to door singing a song and asking for alms and prayers. And dressing up for them is symbolic. Those who do so represent the souls who have passed away. And the people of the Philippines believe that if there were people among the living who are still praying for the souls of the dead who are in purgatory, their suffering would be lessened until they could go to heaven. Unfortunately, this practice has kind of been laid to the side as a more modernized and commercialized idea of Halloween has taken its place. So, like, more what we're doing here in the States. However, there are rural villages that still practice this, and the country has recently, like in the past couple of years, put an effort into reviving the sacred tradition and use the funds that the children collect when they go door to door as a fundraiser for public buildings like churches and schools.
Interesting.
So I was really excited to bring awareness to that one so that hopefully more people can hear about it, because I think that's a really cool tradition,
It
and it
is.
kind of makes me sad to think that a commercialized idea of Halloween has taken over from their sacred practices.
Yeah, like it's evolved into something totally different than what it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So I'm rooting for the Filipino people, and, trick or treating is fine, but I also hope that they can keep to their own cultural customs because nobody else has something quite like that. So the next one I have is called Pitru Paksha, and this comes from India. It's a festival that lasts for 16 days during the 6th month of the Hindu calendar
Wow.
called
16?
I get tired after 6 hours,
I was
so
say, I was like,
I
I
can
like
imagine.
Halloween, but I don't 16 days is a lot.
Yeah. So the 6th month of the Hindu calendar is called Bhadrapada. And in our Gregorian calendar, that's from like around mid to late August to mid or late September, give or take, depending on how it happens. For a brief history, I'll read directly from the Siddha Yoga website because they say it better than I could paraphrase on my own. So the origin of Pitru Paksha harks back to India's oldest scripture, the Rig Veda. It is described in the scriptures as a powerful occasion on which we honor and express gratitude to those who have come before us and left us a legacy of their wisdom, protection, love, and material wealth. By Vedic tradition, ancestors refers specifically to parents, grandparents, and great grandparents. In practice, people honor departed spouses, children, siblings, aunts, uncles, and parents in law on Pitru Paksha as well. They also honor friends, neighbors, teachers, mentors, and even beloved animals that have left this world. To the people of India, when a person dies, Yama, the god of death, takes their soul to purgatory, where the last 3 generations of that person's family waits. During this time, the time of Pitru-paksha, the souls are allowed to return to Earth to be with their remaining loved ones. According to Indian scriptures, it is the dharma, the duty, of those who are living to offer their prayers and blessings, and the fruits of their spiritual practices for the benefits of those who have passed on. In this way, we continue to honor those who have passed on. We invoke their blessings and support them on their journey onward.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so during this time, families of the dead offer foods such as a sweet rice and milk called kheer, lapsi, which is a sweet porridge, rice, lentils, spring beans, pumpkins, which are cooked on silver or copper and then served on banana leaves.
That sounds good.
That's in India. We're going to go to Poland now for a minute.
Oh, my Polish blood is boiling through me.
We're going around the world in 80 minutes. So I had to look up the pronunciation for this one too. It's from Poland, pronounced Jane Zaduchne.
Okay.
And
I don't know Polish, so I can't correct
that's okay.
you.
I looked it up, and that's
as
what
good
it
as it
said.
got.
So this is the Polish word for All Souls Day, which is November 2nd. The celebration is less Halloweeny and more reverent, just like some of the other cultures that we've seen, as it is the day that families will clean graves and mausoleums of their families and loved ones who have passed on. It's a very popular holiday in Poland and much more closely practiced than the equivalent day is here in the West and in other parts of Europe. So during Dzień Zaduszny, as with many of these things we see around this time, it has its roots in pagan beliefs and practices. According to the old beliefs, this was the day when the souls of our ancestors would come to walk the earth again, which seems to be a recurring theme. This meant that the living would need to prepare food and drink to please the spirits returning to earth. Today, this celebration involves family gatherings to the cemetery where they place flowers and candles over the freshly cleaned graves, and they will pray for their deceased family members at their grave sites.
Okay.
It is also common to see they attend a large requiem mass in honor of the souls of the dead. So, let me drink some wine.
Okay.
Lots of talking. We're almost there. But this is very interesting, so
I like it.
Mind too much. So now we're going to Nigeria, and we're going to talk about the Auru Odo Festival. And this is actually celebrated over the course of 6 months, from November to April.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it only happens once every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
The Igbo people of Nigeria don masks and prepare grand feasts and play traditional music during a time when it is thought that the spirits of the dead are back joining them on Earth. During these 6 months, the men will make elaborate preparations for the spirit's arrival and stay on Earth, while women cook their massive feasts in their honor. Everyone, men, women, children, elderly, everybody wears masks and costumes during this time in an effort to mimic the spirits, because this is a sign of respect for the spirits and gratitude for them coming back to visit them. So in April, right before the spirits leave for another, I said 2 years, but it's really a year and a half.
Okay.
There's a massive performance/parade put on for the spirits, and that performance reenacts the spirits' arrival back in November and their departure from the world of the living again. So like going back to the world of the dead for another year and a half. And it's a very big custom, and they party hard for like 6 months.
That's pretty awesome though.
So that's what I have from Nigeria. We're gonna go to Cambodia. So this is called Chumbun, but it's pronounced Pchumben.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's spelled like that. My bad.
What did you say?
I think I said it's pronounced, and then I spelled it.
And they were like,
like
everyone's like, yes, that's how you pronounce it. Got it.
So this is a celebration of the dead and the elderly in Cambodia. It usually starts somewhere around the end of September to mid-October, which is whatever day the 15th day of the 10th month of Kamar is. So whenever that day falls, it's usually around end of September, mid-October.
Okay.
I know that's confusing. I was confused too.
You were just like, what day is it?
Yeah. So this practice dates all the way back to the Middle Ages and is the most important, if not one of the most important holidays in Buddhist culture. It is a holiday that students and workers take off in order to return home to their families in order to celebrate with them. And I say take off as in like the schools and businesses are closed so that they
Okay.
can go home because it's that important of a
They don't
holiday
just
to
leave and
them.
go, haha.
Right. So this is another one. It lasts for 15 days. Buddhist families take
15.
offerings. I know. They take offerings to pagodas because it is believed that the deceased loved ones wait for their living family members and friends at their pagodas during this time. The living, the people celebrating, they will wake up early every morning to make sweet rice balls called bay bun, Bayben, and they take them to the pagodas along with other offerings. And it is believed by offering food and prayers, families are helping their ancestors pass on to a better life as well as ensuring that their ancestors don't grow angry with them or curse them. So, food is always going to be the quickest way to anybody's heart.
Yeah, honestly.
I have two more, and they're kind of short shout outs. So, this second to last one is called the Hungry Ghost Festival from China.
Hungry ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Nom nom nom.
So, on the 15th day of the 7th lunar month, which is around mid August to mid September, the people of Hong Kong celebrate the Hungry Ghost Festival. In several parts of each Asia, people believe that spirits get restless around this time of year and they begin to roam the world. The festival is a way to lead the spirits both to the food and money they need to survive in the afterlife. And it's part of a larger month-long celebration that also features burning paper and food offerings. So that's cool.
That is really cool.
The last one I have, it's we're going to Italy now. It's
Yay.
called Ognissanti, and this is November 1st, which is All Saints Day, and it's a national holiday in Italy.
Yeah.
The
All Saints Day is
festivities.
a thing here too, I believe, technically.
Yes, but this is like a, for lack of a better term, bank holiday in Italy. Like we
Oh.
don't get that day off here in
No,
America.
we don't. My dad's birthday is All Saints Day.
Oh, well, happy birthday to your dad almost, I
Yeah,
guess.
he's like, I'm gonna be 52. And I'm like, you are not dying. Chill out. You'll be okay.
So the festivities for Agni Santi usually begin a couple of days before November 1st when people begin leaving fresh flowers, which are usually chrysanthemums, on the graves of departed loved ones. And they'll also leave flowers on the graves of complete strangers because they're just kind like that and reverent of their dead. And the country's cemeteries turn into beautiful displays of colors, which I'm looking at a picture right now. Let me see if I can get
Oh,
you a
yes,
picture.
please. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so according to several of the sources that I read, which as a side note, I didn't read all of the sources at the beginning because this list was so long that it would have taken me 5 minutes just to read the sources. But if you go to ghoulgaminggals.com, you will be able to see where I got all of my information from. So it turns the country cemeteries into beautiful displays of color, and Italians also pay tribute to the departed by putting a red candle on their window at sunset and set a place at the table for the spirits as a hope that they will pay a visit during dinner time during that time. So those are just some Halloween/Halloween-esque traditions from around the world, which I had a super fun time looking all that up because let
Yeah,
me
and
tell
I
you.
haven't heard of most of them. Thank
Yeah.
you for educating me about
Yeah, I just thought
some
that
of
it was
the
fun.
lesser known ones.
Yeah, absolutely. To many of these cultures, like this time of year is the most important time of year because they revere their dead so sacredly.
Which
So,
is really cool to see
mhm.
people
So
celebrate how people celebrate things and how much it means to them and what they do
yeah,
to honor their loved ones.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm down for it, and I'm actually excited that I got to do this because I was thinking like, well, maybe I can do a history of Halloween, but then I said like at the beginning, like Morbid, ATWWD, Ladies of Strange, they've all done that already. And while like I won't put it off for the future, I just feel like everybody who listens to our podcast probably listens to at least one of those. It would be old news. So I was like, why don't I do traditions from around the world? I think that would be fun. It would be educational, and I had a blast doing it.
And also
So
it brings a lot of light to things that people might not know of.
yeah, absolutely. So that was a bit later than the Chernobyl
Yeah, just a
tragedy.
little bit. Still Halloween themed, but not as aggressive.
Well, I guess we're getting into gaming though, right?
Do indeed.
Oh, do you want to do like what we've been playing first yet?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh,
what have you been
I
playing?
haven't been playing anything that new though. I've been
Oh,
playing Overwatch because of the Halloween event.
sure.
Among Us still, and Dead by Daylight. And Dead by Daylight is still obviously one of the best games to play right now because it's
Mhm.
Halloween themed. So
Exactly.
nothing crazy, honestly. I haven't really had time, to be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
But
I've
what
been
about you?
I've been mostly playing Among Us and Overwatch. I haven't really
Do you play
been
Among Us on PC or phone?
my phone. I will play on my PC.
Honestly, we should because we all have it.
Yeah.
Like Olivia, David, and Eric and I all have
Oh
it,
well,
and
shit.
Hunter too. And Hunter, I think, is hosting Among Us tonight. If you wanted to
Oh,
join, I'll have to ask him if it's still happening. But if it
yeah.
is, the option is there.
But because of the personal family situation, which I have briefly mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I haven't really had
A
a
lot
whole
of
lot
time.
of time or mental energy to really get into anything because like I started Bastion last week, we started Unraveled 2 last week, but I have not been
I
in a
have
great
not.
head.
I mean, it's not
Well,
that
thank
long.
you. No, but
It's pretty fun though. Oh, the
so
thing is, so I saw Jalen play it,
mhm,
and I didn't see him play the whole thing or anything, so it's not like it's ruined. But
mhm.
I remember seeing it years ago and being like, this would be a really great game with someone else to play with, and then I just never played it. So
Well, now you have your chance.
yeah. But what I have in gaming news for you, since we're talking
Tell
about
me.
Among Us, there's an
Yes.
update. It's
Oh,
coming out by the end of this month. The biggest issues that people were bringing up, they decided to finally fix. So here's some of the things that they're deciding to fix.
okay.
So you can now add an option in settings to make voting anonymous. So you know how when you vote, it shows the colors of the people who
Yeah.
voted for you? That has
Yeah.
fucked me so many times because I'll say like basically nothing, and just because I vote for someone, they vote for me next time, just because they're like, fuck
Oh,
you.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So you can now the option is still there if you wanted to, but you now have an option to make it anonymous.
Right.
So that's pretty awesome. It just shows up as like dark gray, so you can't tell who's voting for you. You can see
Oh,
how
okay.
many people are voting for you, but you just don't know who did.
Oh, interesting. That's good.
Yeah. And then taskbar updates. So now you can change your taskbar to show up during the game. Always is the default setting, but now you can select it for meetings and never to have the taskbar only show up during meetings or to never have it visible at all. Because some people don't use the taskbar, which is weird for
Hmm.
me.
Oh, see, I use the taskbar.
I do too. And then the last notable thing is colorblind support, which,
Oh,
when you're wiring and it's just colors, they've now
yeah.
added symbols next to them so that you're not confused.
Oh, how freaking cool
Which
is
I
that?
did remember with the first time I played, I was like, "What a color!" Like I literally remember thinking, like as I was like linking wires, I was like, "I know so many colorblind people that wouldn't be able to play this because they'd be so lost."
Oh, that's really cool though. I'm glad that they did that.
Yeah, like trying to make it more accessible to
Yeah, more
people, so it's
accessible.
very
Yeah.
nice. The next thing I have for you is Stardew Valley creator Eric, which I didn't know Stardew Valley's creator was named Eric Barone, but it's just kind of funny.
Okay.
But he announced on Twitter that there is going to be an update that includes split screen co op. So now you can
Ooh.
actually play with people near you, which is awesome. I think people had brought this up before where they wanted that. And at the time, well, because you could play multiplayer before, but it wasn't split
Yeah, but
screen.
it wasn't split screen. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, which I thought was awesome because I honestly, Stardew had the capabilities to do that before.
Oh, I guess that's true.
It was just actually doing it because like that is totally a game that having a second person would be great because you need help
Yeah.
like farming and watering and mining,
Yeah.
and you can do all
Yeah,
that
it
stuff
takes
but only
fucking
if the
forever
other
to do a
person
game
has
all
the
by
game
yourself.
too.
Yeah.
So
I
so
mean, you can do it all yourself, but man, it takes
it
fucking
takes
forever.
fucking forever. Like half my day would be like watering my plants if I didn't have sprinklers. So
Yeah, exactly.
I think that is going to be a really cool update. I haven't
First
played in
world
a
fucking
while,
problems.
but I do like Stardew.
I do too.
The next thing is there's a huge sale that is supposed to go either until Halloween or early November. They haven't confirmed it on PS4.
Oh.
So all of the games are less than $5,
Oh, that's good to
which
know.
is really good. And they're not shitty games. That's the other thing is I thought they were going to be like really shitty games. They're actually not. They're pretty decent. For the most part, they're games that I recognize. So I'm just going
Okay.
to point out some of my favorites. Tomb Raider, which is going to be $4, Deus Ex Mankind Divided for $4, Titanfall 2. What else was in here? $5. Doom 3, Dead Island Definitive Edition. I don't know if you've ever played Dead Island, but it's basically like Left 4 Dead, but you're on an island. It's zombie.
Okay.
It's a zombie game.
Okay.
Need for Speed, Dragon Age, Inquisition Deluxe Edition is now going to be $5 on PS4.
You say that like I don't already have
I
the
know, but I
version
have to
available.
point it out. Unravel 2 is a part of it too. Little
Okay.
Nightmares, Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare 2. There's also a couple
Did
of,
you say Warefare again?
sorry, Warfare.
Why are you like this?
It's my accent. It's my accent.
Modern Warfare.
I have a weird accent that some words have always come out weird on, and I don't know why.
Modern Warfare.
Warfare.
Has that already been an episode title?
Yes.
Dang
No,
it.
no, 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 no.
All
But I've
right, well,
definitely said it on the podcast
now it's
before.
gonna be right because you said it like 4 times in one episode.
I
Well,
don't know
this
why. My brain says it incorrectly. I also say a couple other words wrong because of where I grew up, and I don't understand why my brain has not corrected itself, but
well, here's the
whatever.
thing. This episode's title is now officially Modern Warfare.
Great. Is it going to be like were, as in like werewolf?
Like WARE?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
I gotta do it.
The other thing that I had was there is a Halloween sale, so it's about 100 games that are, I think, less than $15. So some of my favorites: Crash Bandicoot. I don't know why, but I love Crash Bandicoot. Diablo 3, Devil May Cry 5, Destiny 2, Doom, basically all of them. Dragon Age, Dragon Ball
Cool.
Z, Fallout 4. I'm going in like alphabetical order. Little
Okay.
Nightmares, Resident Evil 2. They have
Nice.
Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 1 and 2 bundle, the Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 5, and Resident Evil 6 bundle as well, which I'm buying tonight.
Holy shit.
Because I don't know if I ever brought this up, but I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I don't know
Oh,
why,
we know.
but it's one of my favorites. And yeah, I'll link this to you so you can post it on the website because this is active until the end of the month. So
Oh,
plenty
cool.
of time for people, because I remember looking up and being like, okay, I need to make sure that if I bring this up on the podcast, people aren't just going to be like, well, the sale's fucking done, thanks a lot for getting me excited.
Yeah, really.
But it goes until the end of the month, so we're good.
Good.
The other news I have: Sony confirmed that the new PlayStation Store isn't going to let you buy PS3, PSP, or Vita games outside of the console. So if you're buying a PS3 game on the PS4, it won't let you. But if you buy the PS3 game on your PS3, it'll let you. Same thing with PSP and Vita, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but I guess there's not a lot of PS3 games people want to play anymore. I don't know their reasoning, but they said they will remove the option to purchase those games, which would start October 28th. So you'll still be able to make new purchases for PlayStation Legacy titles, but they will have to purchase them directly from the console themselves. They said it's important to note that this only applies to new purchases, and any previous purchases will still be okay. But if you make new purchases, they won't. They'll also remove the ability to download apps, themes, and avatars for PS4 on both web and mobile, but they can still be downloaded onto the console. They sent a message out. It was an email that they sent out to people saying, our brand new PlayStation Store launches on web and mobile from the 21st to the 26th of October 2020. We're making some changes to content you can access on the PS Store via your desktop and mobile. What is changing? You will no longer be able to buy PlayStation 3 games and add-ons, PSP games and add-ons, PlayStation Vita games and add-ons, apps, themes, or avatars. It says, what does this mean for you? You will no longer be able to buy on PS Store when accessed via desktop or mobile. However, you will still be able to buy on the consoles directly, which I don't know their reasoning for this at all, but
Yeah, I can't. Maybe it's just because of compatibility issues.
I don't know. But I figured I'd bring it up just in case anyone wanted to buy something that they don't think they're going to be able to buy later. So,
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah.
can still have access to the game, but you just won't have it on your newer device unless you buy it like now. So, and then the last bit of news is, so Critical Role, the show, started in 2015, and it was a simple like Dungeons and Dragons thing, and obviously it has a huge following now with our favorite Matthew Mercer.
I was gonna say my
You
boy,
know.
the man, the love of my life.
Right now they have about 600,000 followers on Twitch and 1 million subscribers on YouTube, so it's not like
Which
they're a small.
I am included in the
Me too.
subscribership.
It's not like they're a small group of people, so
Yeah.
this is what they were quoted saying. It's something that we've thought about for kind of the duration of streaming and thinking it would be cool one day if we could actually just have a foundation. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have the community and audience that they have. So what they're doing is they're starting a foundation to raise money for charity all year round because
Cool.
they all have money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
they're not they're all actors, and like they're not regular Joes. Like these are people that have money. Like they're
Yeah.
all in stuff like Felicia Day and
Yeah.
Matthew
Yeah.
Mercer. Anyways, yeah, so they wanted to do this. And I don't know if you know Mr. Beast or David Dobrik.
They're streamers, right?
No, they're on YouTube. They're like YouTubers and stuff, but
Oh,
they
okay.
they do like Twitch stuff and whatever, but YouTube is their
Hmm.
biggest thing.
Right. Okay.
They also use their channel sometimes for charity, so they were just like, why don't we? Like we have this following. So, yeah, they were trying to partner with First Nations Development Institute, which helps Native American people by improving economic conditions through technical assistance. So, I think
Oh, you
they
know what?
are
I saw them talking about this on Twitter.
yeah, and they're
Yeah.
aiming to raise 50,000 and they already passed that.
Nice.
So please donate if you can, if you have the means to in this time. But I thought it would be a cool thing to bring up.
Yay.
But that's all I got for you.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a
Nothing
nice, fun
crazy. There's not a
episode.
lot of news right now, which is weird.
I'm sure once we get closer to like release of the new consoles, it'll
Yeah,
be
like holiday season, it'll be
yeah,
a lot more. I think we're in this like
yeah,
lull period, which makes sense. That's why there's so many sales going on.
yeah, exactly.
But thank you for sharing Halloween around the world.
Yeah, thanks for listening. It was super fun to like do that research for. Thank you for sharing too. And I guess if you want to follow us or listen to us, you can do that now wherever you're listening to this podcast, which includes Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube, a whole bushel basket of places. You can follow us on
Bushel blasket.
I said what I meant to say. You can follow us on social media. Instagram is ghoulgaminggals.podcast and Twitter is ghoulgaminggals and Facebook is question mark. And if you want to reach out to us, you can do so through our website, which is ghoulgaminggals.com, or you can send us an email directly to ghoulgaminggals@gmail.com. You can follow Janelle's Twitch at Janelle Nelly. You can follow my Twitch at Aria Makila. And I think that's it.
We'll have a
Yeah.
good spoopy season, everyone. Continue to play.
Oh,
What?
we have a Patreon too. Duh.
Oh.
Patreon.com/ghoulgaminggals.
I was like, what?
If you want to support what we're doing and help us get further along, make sure you take a look at our Patreon, which Janelle has worked so hard on, and leave us a 5-star comment on Apple Podcasts. It would really help us out for the
And if you have
exposure of the show.
suggestions, please tell us.
Yeah.
But
We're going to do a listeners episode on Friday, November 13th, which I think is a perfect day for listener story episodes.
yes.
So send those to me through ghoulgaminggals@gmail.com or through our website at ghoulgaminggals.com. And
don't hold back when you send your story too.
yeah.
Give us all the hot, juicy.
All the hot deets. Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy your October, everybody, and play Unravel 2 with us. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend.
And we shall catch you in the next one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.